I'm Allendale's chief meteorologist Ryan Martin with a look at your midday weather update. Surface analysis right now shows a frontal boundary that had been stationary, kind of meandering across the Corn Belt, going warm over parts of Missouri, Iowa, Illinois, and it's actually warm across southern Indiana. And with this warm front, we're starting to see it bubble northward a bit. So we've seen a little bit of a change in how precipitation was developing over the western Corn Belt. Earlier today, we had several nice thin bands of thunderstorms. Now, they were a little bit stronger, but we had a thin band of thunderstorms meandering through eastern parts of Minnesota down into Iowa, a couple bands in Iowa. Now we've kind of turned this into more of an overrunning, generalized shower and thunderstorm area over Iowa, and it's slowly starting to expand into Illinois. This, to me, is about 6 to 12 hours too fast. I've been looking for this to develop as we went through the late afternoon and evening hours tonight and then work eastward through the day tomorrow. At this point, though, 6 to 8, 12 hours isn't that big of a deal. It's just the moisture's here sooner. This is all really well in advance of the cool front, which has just now reached the Red River Valley in North Dakota and down into extreme eastern parts of South Dakota. This front will push eastward. The low is gathering strength, pushing now into southeastern Saskatchewan. I'm looking for it to head toward Lake Winnipeg before the afternoon and evening is through, slowly dragging across the Canadian prairies, bringing moisture wrapping in there. The thunderstorms across the Corn Belt will likely diminish overnight tonight. Then as the frontal boundary complex pushes through the central and eastern Corn Belt tomorrow, some action may try and refire, although we continue to think that the action is going to be quite a bit less intense tomorrow over the eastern belt than out west. We're looking at rainfall totals out west, maybe pushing an inch in spots. As you go farther east, 1/4 to 3/4 of an inch is all I'm going to be looking at, and I'd like to skew a good part of Indiana and Ohio, for example, into the lower half of that range. Now, as we go forward, then we're going to finish out the week Thursday, Friday, Saturday with very little precipitation, but temperatures may not fall off an excessive amount. Humidity values should, but temperatures may stay normal to slightly above. As we finish out the week and go into the weekend, we're just going to be seeing a shift in wind direction. Looking at another batch of moisture working across the Corn Belt as we go through the finish of the weekend and into Monday. So late Sunday night, Monday, scattered showers and thunderstorms. Not a lot of moisture. 50% coverage, but it will be moisture around nonetheless. And then we will slowly start to curtail the temperatures a little bit through the rest of next week. This is where models have a little bit of disagreement. For example, the GFS model has been very insistent on bringing much cooler than normal air in as we go through the first part of August. Other models not necessarily on track with that yet. I still think we're going to be seeing temperatures pull back to normal, but it may not be a sharp front boom, here we are kind of deal. It may be a slow working backwards of the temperatures. We have another good front around the 6th and 7th. That might be the one that brings in the coolest air as we go through the early part of August. Could be seeing temperatures actually below normal from the 8th right on through the 11th and 12th. Long-term models that were trying to put a system in around the 12th have backed off of that now. And, if the cool air does advance the way we're seeing, that would probably be the right call. Now, also, for areas down in the deep south and maybe back into the central plains, if the cool air advances the way we see, that will also set up a nice batch of precipitation, a line of precipitation, if you will, along the leading edge of the cool air, right where the warm air and cold air meet. We'll take that probably from places like the Carolinas through the deep south and then curve it back up through the central plains and into the eastern foothills areas. That could be something that we have to watch there in that 11 to 15-day forecast window, so keep an eye on that. Generally speaking, though, even though you're going to hear a lot of talk about hot air here the next few days, it's only the heat indexes. Actual air temperatures across the heart of the Corn Belt, not too bad, mid to upper 80s. The biggest heat out there will be down south, central southern plains. But, as I've been telling a lot of people to this point, it's the last week of July. These are temperatures that we typically would expect to see in late July. It's not like we're burning anything up in a big way here and looking at well above normal temperatures. This is just a summertime warm air pattern, and as long as temperatures stay in the upper 80s to low 90s in the Corn Belt, it doesn't look like it's going to be exceptionally detrimental. That's the way things are stacking up. If you've got any questions on the weather, give us a call at Allendale. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin.